Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Poland. Today we're diving into a question that's probably crossed your mind, especially if you've ever walked the ancient streets of Kraków. Why isn't it the capital of Poland anymore? I mean, with its stunning Wawel castle, that vibrant market square, and history oozing from every cobblestone, it just feels like a capital, doesn't it? For centuries, it absolutely was. So, what happened? What kind of dramatic shift could possibly dethrone a city so deeply woven into the very fabric of Polish identity? Stick around, because the answer involves political maneuvering, a massive geographical expansion, and even a touch of alchemical disaster. You might be surprised by how much one decision changed the course of a nation. Before we jump back in time, do me a quick favor. If you love exploring Poland's rich history as much as I do, hit that like button right now. And let me know in the comments if you thought Kraków should still be the capital. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. Now imagine yourself in the 10th century. Poland is forming, consolidating its power, and for all intents and purposes, Kraków emerges as its heart. It was strategically located, defensible, and quickly became a bustling center of trade, culture, and power. The kings resided in Wawel, their coronations took place there, and the city truly flourished, becoming a symbol of Polish sovereignty and strength. You can still feel that energy when you visit today, right? The very air hums with stories of royalty, scholars, and groundbreaking moments. This wasn't just a city, it was the foundation, but history, as we know, rarely stands still. Fast forward a few centuries to 1569, and we hit a monumental turning point, the Union of Lublin. This wasn't just another treaty, it created the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, a massive, powerful, and utterly unique state that stretched across Central and Eastern Europe. And here's where Krakow's troubles began. Suddenly, our beloved capital was no longer at the geographical heart of things. It was way down in the southern corner of this gigantic new entity. Imagine trying to manage an empire from the very edge. It's just not practical, is it? The political gravity started shifting north towards a more central location where nobles from both Poland and Lithuania could more easily meet. And that place was Warsaw. Warsaw at this point was still growing, but it offered a crucial advantage: its location. It became the favored spot for the Sejm, the Commonwealth's parliament, because it was accessible from all corners of the vast state. The king, Sigismund III Vasa, found himself constantly traveling between his various domains and spending less and less time in Kraków. The writing was on the wall, even if no one wanted to admit it. The move wasn't just about convenience, it was about the very nature of this new, expansive state. The Commonwealth needed a capital that reflected its new scope, not just its ancient roots. And then, in 1595, a rather dramatic event sealed Krakow's fate: a devastating fire at Wawel Castle. Now, some say it was an accident, others whisper of a botched alchemical experiment. Can you imagine a royal alchemist accidentally setting the castle ablaze? Regardless of the cause, a significant part of the royal residence was severely damaged. For King Sigismund III Vasa, who was already leaning towards Warsaw, this fire might have been the final push he needed. In 1596, he made the official, though perhaps heartbreaking, decision to move the royal court permanently to Warsaw. It wasn't an immediate transfer of all power, but the symbolic shift was immense. The heart of Polish politics had moved. So, while Kraków remained the spiritual and historical capital, where kings were still crowned and laid to rest, Warsaw took on the mantle of the administrative and political center. It's a classic tale of tradition meeting practicality. For modern-day Poland, Warsaw, despite its own incredibly turbulent history, especially during World War II, has remained the capital. It was reborn from the ashes, a testament to Polish resilience, much like Kraków itself has preserved its ancient soul. It's fascinating, isn't it? How a combination of geography, political evolution, and a little bit of unexpected drama can completely redefine a nation's landscape. Kraków will always hold a special place in the hearts of Poles and visitors alike. It's a living museum, a testament to a glorious past. But Warsaw represents the vibrant, dynamic present and future of Poland. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Polish history, please consider subscribing to The Poland for more videos just like this one. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And seriously, I'd love to read your comments below. If you could choose, which city would you pick as Poland's capital today, and why? Let's get a discussion going. You can also find more resources and fascinating historical tidbits linked in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.